Hello everyone, this is Professor King. I'm going to demonstrate a few techniques to help you render your coins in Adobe Illustrator for your final project for the semester. I will demonstrate all these things in class with you guys, but I wanted you guys to be able to refer to this video on your own time as well. So I'm just going to show you a few basic techniques. We first want to start with our Illustrator template file. Now if you open the Layers palette, you will see that I have provided you guys with the labels on one layer, the coin sizes on another layer, pardon me, and then an empty coin art layer. Now the sizes are your minimum and maximum diameters. They also include small labels for which coin it is that will help you just keep track of your 5 coins as you draw them. The labels layer includes the front and back labels, which you don't need to change, and the denomination labels, which you do need to change. So if your system includes a nickel, a dime, a 20-cent piece, a 50-cent piece, and a $1 coin, you can enter those labels here. I recommend keeping those labels locked until you need them. Just as an FYI, to get a cents sign, the dollar sign is of course on your keyboard. It is Shift 4 to get cents, to get the dollar sign. To get the cents sign, it is Option 4. Okay? Shift 4 dollar, Option 4 cents. Just FYI. So I'm going to show you a few different techniques. I'm not going to render complete coins here. First, I'm going to show you how to mask an object. Masking allows us to contain some shapes within another shape. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start, make sure I have the coin art layer selected. I'm going to make myself a checkerboard. I'm going to do everything in 2 shades of gray. I'm going to do 50% gray for my darker color and a 30% gray for my lighter color. So I'm going to make a 1 pica square here, use that as the basis for my checkerboard. Actually, now looking at it relative to the coin, let's make it a little bit bigger. I want to make it 1 pica, 1.5 picas square. Alright, so this is the basis of my checkerboard. As usual, I can just Shift Option drag something. It will make a copy, constraining it to the same axis. I'm going to do this and align my squares to meet one another. I am always reminding you guys to work at as close to 100% as possible. This is especially important with the coin project because our finished art is so small that if you work at 300, 400, 500%, you're going to create a bunch of details that are simply illegible in your final design, and you'll waste a lot of your own time and effort. However, you may notice that I just zoomed way in to align these squares, which is a fine technique. Just don't stay zoomed in. Keep going back to 100% scaling as you go. Now, there's a reason that I'm being so fussy about alignment with these first 5 squares, because I'm going to then use them to create all the rest of the checkerboard. I am not copying, I'm just holding down Shift and moving 2 of these squares down. So if we look at it in preview mode, you can see the first 2 rows of a checkerboard. And now I'm going to hold down Option Shift and copy those 2 rows. It's really starting to look like a checkerboard. And bring back my sizes. You can see it's still a bit small. It doesn't quite fit inside my coin, so I'm going to copy 1 more row. Make sure that I have the sizes layer locked so that I'm only selecting my coin art. And there we go. So now the next thing I want to do is I want to put this checkerboard design within my coin. The hard way to do it would be to go through each one of these outlying squares and cut them away into a circular shape and try to make it match my circular coin. But that's the hard way. Why do the hard way? I'm instead going to create a mask. So what a mask allows you to do is to only show one object or one group of objects as it appears through another object. So to create a mask, you need 2 things. You need your background objects, and you need a masking object. The masking object must be on top. So arrange, bring to front. It already was because it was the last thing I drew, but just to be sure. And the masking object must have no fill and no stroke. So let me hide the background. You can see there I have an invisible object. If I go to outline mode, there it is. There's my circle with no fill, no stroke, and it's the topmost object. So I select everything I want to mask along with the masking object. Object, clipping mask, make. And it is now masked. It only shows you the objects that are inside of the shape. You can still, if we go to outline mode again, you can see they're still all there. Nothing's been deleted, nothing's been cut, nothing's been sliced into pieces. It's all there, it's just only showing you what can be seen through the masking object. So this is great for putting images inside of frames in Illustrator, for putting patterns inside of a shape, for putting a texture inside of a shape. Very useful thing. The other thing is you can still edit individual objects within your group. So if you select with the solid arrow tool, it counts this all as one big object. If you go to your group selection tool, you can select individual items or groups. So I can select the background only. What I did just there is I selected the whole thing, then I held down Shift to deselect the masking object. So now I have only selected the objects that are being masked, not the mask itself. And I can move objects within the mask, keeping the mask in place. I could rotate them if I like. I can apply basically any effects I wanted to these fill objects, and they are still within the mask. So that's creating a mask. That will be the first very, very useful technique for this project.